believe that's right.
There
It's on the
are
west side
fence
of
laws,
the
ain't there?
Pepsi building.
There are, I mean, in a typical adverse possession situation, that's what you have. You've got a fence and everybody's treated that as the boundary line for so many years, and that's a typical adverse possession situation. I mean, here, that's been treated as the boundary line of the property or the.
Which Pat Medley owns the driver's license facility.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. So he rents it out.
This is a black and white picture of that. Kind of give you an idea. Here is this is the regional office building here. In our deed, it actually describes a concrete block building. In my opinion, that refers to this concrete block building here. And then it has a separate legal description. In my opinion, I believe that is, without having that surveyed, to be hard to know for sure, but I believe it is this parcel here, which kind of leaves this, which is a parking lot area, which is kind of left out, I guess you could say, of that. But I think there's no question that would be dealt as an adverse possession if it ever came down to it. So if somebody claimed it, or we could use adverse possession as a defense, or like I said, when we transfer it, we can get it cleared up at that point, depending on.
What do you think the survey would cost? $2,500?
Potentially, yeah. I really, that would be my guess, somewhere around there, 2,000, 2,500. And the problem that you can have is, I mean, you can, and I've seen this happen before. You have surveys done, somebody doesn't even know that that's their property. You have a survey done, and then somebody makes a claim to it. You know, like Jeff was saying, everybody treats a fence line as a boundary line, and somebody goes and does a survey, and it's actually 50 feet to the west or the east, and then somebody says, well, I want my property.
Sure.
You know, so it can sometimes cause you more headaches than it clears up. I've seen that happen. That's why it's almost seems to be, to me at least, maybe we just leave it alone, and because nobody's making a claim for it. The only way this actually came up was that the regional office got a little concerned that have we deeded everything that we actually have, and got to check in, and that's what they kind of came up with. So, but we can do it however you all want. If you want to go ahead and get a survey done, get it cleaned up now, we can certainly do that.
If your legal opinion is to wait, if there's an issue, do it then. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay, all right.
I don't think it's gonna cost any more, well, minimal more later than it is now.
No, it shouldn't. I mean,
possibly.
Yeah.
Hopefully it never come up.
Yeah, it may not. So, want to kind of let you know where that stands. I have talked to Ms. Ulrich about that, and I think the fact that all the property has been deeded to the regional office had that kind of eased their mind a little bit. That they weren't, there was nothing on their end that needed to be done. So.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, Joe.
You too.
I'm in good hands down there.
Hey, we're gonna use some of this $50,000 grant if we get it for some chairs. Is that fair enough?
With some hot?
Some chairs.
Some good
Yeah.
chairs.
Yeah, some new chairs.
I
I mean, I'm not talking like $30,000 or $40,000 worth of
thought our
chairs.
good man Joe was gonna take care of that.
I thought Gary Hamm's the one that has the nice chairs. I seen.
Yeah,
He got a $330 claim come through
Yeah.
for a chair.
I want the nicest chairs in the courthouse right in here.
Yeah. Well, we deserve it.
I mean, I don't have any credentials, but maybe together we can add our credentials up. Enough for some chairs.
That's where we did the payouts for 708 mental health, and it's like a clearing. We put it in and then write it back out. That's what those are for.
It's all good.
Payroll.
Survived the third payroll.
That's good. How we on bills, Juanita? We about 30 days or 45, 60?
Maybe we'll catch some of those up. 77,000.
And just very few of, when I say 60, they're at the end of February, and they were like big ones, like probation.
Some of those killers, huh?
Yeah, yeah. We've only got like 3 or 4 of those left, and then the rest is,
Smaller
is
amount.
from March.
Okay.
So, yeah, because she and I just went through them the other day.
Report in your office?
Kind of boring. the same?
Yeah, they're all the same.
Take one, pass it around, it's like class. Are you gonna shop me today?
No, maybe not.
Okay.
We'll try not to.
I'll never forget the first time I met her come in here and tell me about an outbreak. Nasty stuff. Heck, gum. I thought we had ladies in this county.
Well, that's what we do at the
You
health
start-
department. I
Start
don't
staying
know.
home on the weekends, eh?
I ain't going out no more.
Jeff never left the house no more.
Okay, this is our annual report for the year ended June 30th, 2014. The small one is the one for the 7 counties, and then the large report is one specific for Massac County, which also has the 7 county numbers in it. Just a couple things that are in the small one that are not in the one specific to Massac County. If you open up the first page there, there's our mission statement. I've got a message to the residents of the 7 counties. And then if you go to the next to the last page, our financial information for the year ended June 30th is summarized, and that's not in the one that's specific for Massac County. But other than that, all the other numbers are repeated in this large one. So we'll just go over the one that's specific to Massac County, and then we can answer any questions that you guys might have. This, again, reflects all of our services that we provided. The immunizations and screenings, at the top of the left-hand top of the page are flu shots, pneumonia shots, TB skin test, adult child immunizations that were provided. Massac County is one of our larger counties along with Union, so we provide a lot of services in this county. As you can see by the numbers there compared to the agency totals. Adult Hep B shots, blood lead screenings, genetic screenings that we do. The next box down is the family planning program, our clients that were served in our client visits. The family case management program, our prenatals and our infants and our children that we case manage during the years, and our well child exams, developmental screenings that were provided, and our prenatal screenings that were provided. And then at the very bottom there is the Illinois Health Insurance Marketplace, or also known as Obamacare. We do have certified people that can enroll. Those totals aren't broken out by county, but you can see through June 30th how many people were able to obtain health insurance. And we're also signing people up for this year, and the numbers are a little bit smaller this year than last year. Now, the top of the next page, I think is what you were referring to, are the STD, HIV, and AIDS numbers for the year. Because the health department does a good job, you don't hear about this other than when we report the numbers, but Cheryl can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, this is my area of expertise here. This is our first column that we keep track of is AIDS and HIV. Last year, we didn't have anybody in the county that was positive, but this year we have one person who is positive for HIV, and they are in treatment. We did see an increase in the number of cases of chlamydia. We increased our number by 14 from last year, so 55 people total were diagnosed and have been successfully treated. Our cases of gonorrhea have gone down by 3, so we are down to 7 cases. Those also have been treated. And our syphilis cases increased. We had 0 last year, but we had 3 cases this year, all of which we have diagnosed and have been treated for that as well. Overall, for our STD, HIV counseling and testing, we increased the number of testing that we did by 22 individuals. So our county totals for testing was 722 this year, and we were at 700 last year, so are increasing our surveillance quite a bit.
The next column down is our adolescent health program. That's where we're in the schools doing family life education. We are in Massac County schools doing that, and you can see the number of participants that participated in our program this year. coordinated school health program. We also do that programming in Massac County schools, and we did reach a lot of students in that program. Then the Catch School, that's the nutrition and physical education program, which that's K through 8, and we have that program in Community, Metropolis Elementary, and Brookport Elementary. You can see the numbers there. Then we have the WIC programming, and you can see the number of prenatals and infants and children that were in that program during the year. Then the Heart Smart program, that's a program that's of course focused on heart health for women and men, but we offered that through churches this year. And we did 7 participants that participated in that program, and then we have, because we've offered that for I think this is maybe the 4th year in a row, we had 15 in prior years that were still participating in the program. Then we do have a medical reserve corps at Southern 7, and we have 42 trained applicants or participants in our medical reserve corps. The next page over is our breast and cervical cancer program, and that's for underinsured women, and those numbers keep decreasing because as more people are eligible for health insurance. That's true statewide. So those numbers are not very high anymore. In the HealthWorks program, that's a DCFS program for children that are removed from the home that we medically case manage. And for confidentiality, we don't have those numbers broke down by county, but you can see the totals for the 7 counties there. Then the early childhood programs, that's our Head Start, an early Head Start program. We don't offer early Head Start programming here in Massac County, but we do have the Head Start programming here in Metropolis and at Brookport. You can see the numbers that were served during the year. And the vision and hearing screenings, that's mostly the Head Start children that we screen for vision and hearing. You can see the numbers there. And at the top of the page, the Illinois Tobacco-Free Community, we do offer a cessation programming for people that want to quit smoking. Then we have the state of Illinois offers the complaint line. If there's anyone smoking in a public place, we have to, and they file a complaint, we have to follow up on that. We did have one complaint. It was actually a restaurant here in Massac County that went out of business, so there wasn't really anything that we had to do with that. Then our communicable disease reports for the year, and Cheryl's going to talk a little bit about that.
We did have one resident with, that came down with influenza that required ICU care. They have since been discharged. We had a pretty good flu season this year, even though our flu vaccine wasn't very effective. I think at the final note it was 23% effective. So they kind of missed the mark on what flu strains were circulating this year. So hopefully next year's vaccine will be better. We didn't have anybody in Massac County that was diagnosed with hepatitis A. We did have one hepatitis B, and that was a chronic case, which that person didn't know they had hepatitis B, and now they do. Hepatitis C, we had 18 new cases show up of hepatitis C, and a lot of times people find out about they have hep C when they go to donate blood, or they wind up in the emergency room for some reason. They've been sick or something, and they do blood work, and they find out that they have hepatitis C, and they may have had it a long time because a lot of cases are chronic. So most of those individuals are receiving treatment. We had one case of pertussis this year, otherwise known as whooping cough. We have a vaccine that immunizes against that, but this person had not been immunized, and we did have a case of that. Nobody with Haemophilus B, which was good. We had 2 folks with Rocky Mountain spotted fever. That is a carryover from previous years. We didn't have any new diagnosis. Salmonella, we seem to have that occurring in Massac County and in Union County. It's a foodborne thing, and we try to determine where the sources of this comes from, but sometimes that's really hard. There's so many subtypes of Salmonella, but we had 9 cases last year and we had 7 this year. All of those have been resolved and treated successfully. Pontiac fever is also otherwise known as Legionella. We didn't have anybody here. Shiga toxin is another one that's associated with E. coli. Fortunately, we had no one here, or with Shigellosis. We had 2 adults with chicken pox. They were quite ill with, they didn't know that chicken pox can make you feel so bad. They had never been immunized against it. Nobody with West Nile or Lyme's disease. We had 1 person with ehrlichiosis, which is better because we had 3 last year. And we had nobody with active TB. We had 3 people with latent TB, which means at some point in their life they were exposed to somebody with TB. So the germ is laying dormant in their body, and when they went to get a TB skin test done, it showed that they had a reaction to their TB skin test. The doctor may choose to treat them for TB, so they take the preventive meds for anywhere from 4 months to 9 months to make sure that they don't ever come down with full-blown active TB. And sometimes physicians will just choose to watch them to see if it ever does come about. But we had 3 people that had positive reactions to TB skin tests. At that point, they're required to get a chest x-ray just to see what might be going on with them. But not always do they have to take the meds. And then fortunately, we didn't have anybody with chikungunya, which is primarily in Haiti right now. So if you have people who do mission trips and things like that, and they go overseas and they go to Haiti, they may possibly come into contact, which is what this 1 person did, was in Johnson County and not Massac County had. But they expect us to begin to see, as more people travel to Haiti and do mission work, that they can come back home with chikungunya. So that's now been added to the reportable list.
What's the symptoms and what your issues are?
Fever, usually spike a fever of 103, and then the muscle aches, and it's flu-like symptoms. You begin to feel very lethargic and very, like it just hurts to move. And there's really no treatment for it. They will give you antibiotics and things like that, but it sets up an inflammatory response in your body, so your muscles ache, your joints ache, you feel like you have a bad case of the flu. And it's a lot like Lyme's disease. It will get better and then it'll flare up, and then it'll get better and then it'll flare up. This person I know that has this, it's been a year ago that they came back from Haiti, and they're better now, but it's just kind of like a day-to-day thing. It's not a fatal disease, but it's really hard on your quality of life because some days you feel okay and some days you don't. They really don't know much about it.
So what keeps that person from infecting a loved one or something?
It is contagious at first, but after you've been on the antibiotics and stuff, you're no longer considered contagious. But it's becoming endemic in places like Haiti because everybody there has it, and if you stay in environments where it's so active like that, then you do run the risk of getting it. But for an individual coming back to the States and giving treatment with antibiotics, within just a couple of days, you're no longer considered contagious. You just have to deal with the fallout of the side effects of the disease itself.
Okay, the very last page is our environmental health programs, which is basically our food, water, and sewage program, and you can see the number of food establishments here in Massac County and the number of food inspections that were conducted, the temporary food permits that were issued, temporary food inspections conducted. Mosquito pools, we do have a Vector West Nile program, and we do count the number of mosquitoes that we actually test. The new water wells permits that were issued, water well inspections conducted, septic permits issued, and the septic system inspected, number of contractors that were licensed, and the body art inspections, that's tattoo parlors that were inspected. And that's the end of the report. Any questions? I guess I should have given Michelle one of these. I wasn't thinking. I'll start it out. Go. And we do want to thank the county for your support. That enables us to pay bills and keep going when the state doesn't pay.
Did she used to work with you girls years ago?
Years ago,
How can I get
huh?
a hold of her?
Do you know how to get a hold of
Rose?
Rose? I don't even know where Rose is now.
I don't either.
I can ask around because
I asked Terry Joe, she didn't, Reynolds, she worked for y'all for a
Yeah.
while, and she didn't know.
Yeah, Terry still works for us.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know where she was at.
It's been 2 years ago when I talked to her last. I'm trying to remember. Somebody at work mentioned her to me the other day, and I can't remember who it was. I'll ask around at
Probably
work.
Terry Joe.
Well, I was thinking though, it was Brenda Larry was telling me that she had talked to her, ran into her somewhere. So she's around somewhere, I just don't know where.
Okay.
But I've known her for years, cause she used to work with us a long time ago.
Then she left and then she came back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you happen to get a hold of her, have Bill holler at me.
Okay, all right, I will.
Definitely
Okay.
will.
Thank you very
All right.
much.
Yeah, I don't stand still.
Got several of these, Juanita.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it.
Do we get cards right away, or?
It don't go into effect until May 1st. So we'll have the Delta Dental and the other treasurer until May 1st, but it will go into effect May 1st.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get cards and everything out by then. Yeah, we thought it was April 1st, but then it turned out to be May, and, which gives them a little more time to get everything organized. Because like I said, there is no waiting period. You have a dental appointment or eye appointment on May 1st,
Just jump in there, huh?
it'll take it.
I had checked with Rush down here.
Uh-huh.
He's not really a member of that yet, but he's trying to be.
Okay, good deal.
But you guys, were y'all working through town yesterday? I thought I met a couple of your trucks
Where at?
coming through on 10th Street, some of your dump trucks in town yesterday.
I think they're trying to not go down over the
Well, yeah, when we haul
railroad
rock back,
track.
we come back the truck route, not
Okay.
over the, because we exceed the weight limit on Country Club Road.
Oh,
Bridge.
okay.
Of course, not many other people pay attention to that, but we
Yeah.
try to.
Trying to set a good example.
I don't see Gerald doing that.
I didn't know there was one.
Yeah. That one's wood structure, it's
You don't use Country Club when you're loaded?
not when we're loaded, no.
You come down North Avenue? Is it that bridge?
The railroad bridge, yeah. It's 9 tons per axle, 37 tons gross.
Yeah.
We don't exceed the gross, but we probably exceed the 9 per axle.
37,
take that back.
37 tons gross, 76,000 in, right?
Yes.
74,000.
Yeah, 74.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, 9,000 pounds an axle? There's a heck of a lot of overloaded trucks on there then, ain't there?
Well, it is.
Well, yeah, normally on all bridges, it's weight limit's 10 per axle.
Really?
Is that slated to be replaced anytime soon?
Not really.
Well, yeah, I guess, I
like
take that back, not, I'm all ass backwards. 10 tons would be 20,000 pound axle,
Yeah,
24, yeah.
you gotta get a permit for anything over.
I think you're allowed, what, 32,000 for tandem? Not there, but on the highway. Law-wise,
The double axle is a different, yeah, it's not, you don't get full.
You don't get
on a
your full
dual axle,
20,000.
You don't get the full 20,000.
You gotta have a spread axle, right?
yeah.
Is that,
It's
and like-
prorated.
Yeah.
Axles and spacing and all that. I'd have to look at the chart to tell you for sure, but
There's those spread axles, some of them, I think you go up to 34,000, I believe.
between the two?
Yeah, yeah.
I'd really like to replace that bridge sometime, but that will be an expensive one.
That's gonna be
That'll
major
$1 million
undertaking.
one right there,
That and all the traffic,
at least $1 million.
yeah.
How's things running out there?
Decent right now. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Sweet. Nothing under the OT or the 2T.
We, I've been dealing with troubles with shutting power off out there today, but
on something out that way?
Yeah, I don't know what they're working on, but yeah, they told me yesterday that they were, have a planned outage for a while, so. Other than that, we're just pretty much running status quo. I still haven't heard on the truck we ordered. Probably be another couple weeks, but it should be here soon. I don't think we're gonna have any more winter weather this year.
I'm fixing to put water in the spray rig and call it spring.
I think it'll be all right now.
If it gets cold, I'll park it under the shed and hope it don't get cold in the shed.
I know a lot of people's called in about muddy roads and everything. We've been working on grading and, you know, getting the worst places with rock and stuff. I mean, I know I guess everybody can't be satisfied, but we're doing what we can to get it okay. But once we get past this spring mushy, muddy stuff, I mean, it'll be okay during the summer. Nobody will complain, so.
They'll be complaining about dust then.
Probably.
Are they, that crossing there on, Gunford Road, are they gonna, have you been down through there?
I haven't, no,
They got a model of the equipment, they're replacing that track or something. I mean, not at the crossing, but I think, on toward Coal Terminal. And I assume they will replace that crossing also, or work on it. They got two or three track holes.
on the railroad track.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff sitting there.
Right off the highway, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, they talked to me about possibly doing that last year.
The crossing,
And that's the last I heard from them. They didn't really contact me back. I mean, it'd be okay if they did. That crossing is really not all that bad. It's really
well, you're going slow for one thing, you know, when you get there.
the stuff in between the crossing needs to be cut down.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know, yeah. If they do it, I'm glad.
But I would think they should since they're there, but then they may not.
Yeah, I mean, if they get, even if they do redo the crossing and need us to, you know, go over it with our patching machine, we'll do that. I mean, we do that all the time. Last year, you know, when we did the Joppa Road, we kind of did the asphalt hump there, transition.
Yeah.
That was kind of our part of it, and they did the rest.
It's good there.
Yeah, somebody asked me again the other day about the one on 69, and I've called that one in last year, but I mean, that's not our road, that's state highway and you know,
I think
and
it's
railroad.
cool.
It is, I mean, that one really needs to be redone right there, worse than anyone. It probably gets the most traffic as anyone. But,
Yeah.
so, I don't know if you guys take a notion to it, call IDOT and see, the more calls we get, the
Yeah.
more.
Maybe a squeaky wheel.
Yeah,
That's
right.
right.
They might grease the wheel then.
Do you know their number?
There's,
Call Carbondale, correct?
Yeah, I'm not really sure if call the IDOT in Carbondale or call the railroad, one of the two. The railroad usually has a number out
Number
there
right there by the box.
by the
Yeah.
crossing.
Stay on.
I think a lot of that, their problem, they don't wanna shut that train off. They worked overtime yesterday, or I guess they did, they were still out there about 5:30.
They actually just redid a crossing a few weeks ago, on Sheenan Bridge Road. They redid that a couple weeks ago, cause they asked us to help them close the road and everything. That one's not a very traveled road.
Where's that?
I'm lost.
Sheenan Bridge.
Schneeman.
Schneeman.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Right across the street from Macedonia Church.
yeah. Schneeman. Yeah.
Old
Say
German.
it again?
Schneeman.
Schneeman.
SCHNEEMAN. Schneeman.
Yeah.
Was Dutch from over in that country or something, or, I mean,
No, that's Hardy Schneeman, lived in a house there in the woods. You know what the house is there?
yeah, there's still somebody lives in there.
Yeah, I think he's dead, but I guess that's where it got that name. Rollow's Bridge there.
Yeah.
said that'd be fine, he said, who's gonna screen it? What's he talking about?
Who's gonna screen it?
Yeah, does that mean you gotta look at it and approve it, is that screening it, or? I said, well, I don't know. Do you know anything about what that means? I would assume that, you know, you have to look at it, say, well, yeah, that's what I want, but I didn't, I mean, yeah, I didn't expect him just to order it and assume we, you know, wanted it.
Yeah, I mean, when we got this stuff, I don't know if he means like, it's gotta come through a law enforcement office or something like that.
I bet
because-
the sheriff will have to get it, I bet.
Yeah, because it's, you know, there's certain, you can get it through that LESO program where it has to come through law enforcement.
Yeah.
You know, so we can't really have a part in that.
Right.
But after it passes that, you know, and it's still available, I think there's other agencies that can buy it. You can't get it for free, I think you can buy it.
Okay.
But you know, again, I don't know the full rules of the whole program or how many programs are out there or anything like that. I mean, it's, yeah. So I'm not really sure what he's talking about.
I went to Virginia to get that pickup. Had 1,200 miles on it, but it ain't much of a pickup. I mean, it's made in China, and if you put a backhoe load of rock in it, it'd be on the overloads. I mean, and it's small. It's not near as big. It's like a 150 forward short bed. It's not near that big.
Is it one of those little vehicles you see all around the place now? Those little tiny vehicles?
Like a miniature.
Yeah, you seen it sitting down there?
Well, I've seen a few of them around.
Yeah, those aren't actually even legal to drive on the road.
Really?
Well, that's not, you mean a three-wheeler thing, or?
No, that little foreign jobbies with a little stubby front end and a
Yeah.
dump bed,
That's what they,
you can't license it.
A lot of people buy those to hunt in out of.
Yeah, that's what, there's one for sale right up there over the Country Club Road Bridge. Jason Cummings got it for sale, I guess.
Jason Cummins.
If that's what you're talking about, those
Well,
are those foreign jobbies, you can't get them licensed.
yeah, I don't know.
They're not legal.
It hasn't been, cause I guess it's been on an army base all this time.
Right.
Well, I don't, even for the price, you know, about $1,600, wouldn't believe it. Or if he's reading meters or something, you know, or throw a water pump in the back,
Yeah.
it'd be that.
It'd be like a side-by-side or something like that.
It ain't
Just
much
with
bigger.
an enclosed cab.
Yeah. Yep, automatic transmission.
In a heater.
I guess it does.
Should be.
I was told they had a heater.
I'd say it does.
For the right situation, they'd be all right.
Yeah,
For the wrong one, they're useless.
that's right, that's right.
Okay. I'll see you all next week.
All right, thank you, Joe.
One question I was supposed to ask was about this dental insurance policy. I guess some of them were having trouble with.
That's fair.
Okay, it goes in effect May 1st. Up until then, we've still got the old company. But as soon as May 1st comes, we should have cards and everything because it goes in effect right then. There is no waiting period.
I know I think there's two over there that said that the dentist that they've been going to for years, this company wouldn't cover.
I need the name of that dentist because I can get that taken care of. Or at least I can try to get it taken care of. They may have to pay more out of pocket for it, depending on the dentist. But now Dr. Brush is trying, as far as the eye doctors, Dr. Brush is trying to get into this Guardian network.
It's easy fix.
Custom signals. That's some more, that was a renovation thing.
Now, that's, some LiDAR units we bought. I told you, it was his first one,
I think you did. I couldn't remember.
You all got to receive that vehicle yet back from?
No, Josh said he called yesterday and there was still one piece that hadn't come in yet. It's just about done, so.
All that stuff's gonna be it's not coming out of general fund, right?
No,
that's reimbursed, or we paying out of general fund and then reimburse it?
That was, I asked Patrick how to do that, and he said just set up a separate checking account. We already had one for the K-9,
Okay.
so we just run it through there, so it don't have to go through the general fund.
Alright.
Good deal.
Matter of fact, there was, on the bids that we took on the LiDAR unit for the vehicle, Jackson Purchase gave us a bid, it was like $2,600. When they went to order it, they found out that they couldn't because the state, there was a state bid on it, because the company's in Illinois. So we turned around and bought it through the company direct, at like $1,500, and it was $1,300-$1,400 difference, and we had to send Buffett a check back for that. So we just about got that did it.
Pretty full over there?
I think he hit 30 the other day. He's got 2 or 3, I think he's fixing to take to Menard. We just had one getting sentenced. This is the 27th, that had been over there going on 4 years. I'm gonna get rid of him.
Good riddance, huh?
See, on Today Show this morning, it was in DC, I guess, a prisoner, they took him over to the hospital overnight, and he broke loose in the hospital.
Yeah.
And ended up in the hospital and shut down. This guy had robbed a bank.
Yeah, he stole a gun, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he had robbed a bank or something.
Yeah.
To be in there.
There's one bill, I think this might be Supply Works. I don't know if that's the toilets. We had to, every toilet on the front part of the building had to be changed out for ADA accessible, handicap accessible, so we had to change all the toilets out.
When do you plan on hiring another deputy? Is that,
I wanna do it, I have to do it sometime the first 2 weeks of April, because if they have to go to school, I have to have the paperwork in by the 21st. So, 2 or 3 more interviews we're gonna do this week, and try to make a decision next week. School starts first week of May, and that's the only one this year. It goes from 10 weeks to 14 or 15 next year. They figured out what's wrong with the roof yet, or?
You know what? Marcia called me sometime last week, I called her back, and I haven't seen her.
They said,
I don't know if it's
she,
about the road or what.
Bailey called me ahead, and they went up there, him and Marcia, and they want us to call Bailey, Sterling, and he wants all of us to go up there. He says there's nothing wrong with it, it's gotta be coming through that brick.
So through the brick and then under the roof?
I guess, and I think maybe another place where those big tile are around the border there on top, I think maybe where they're cemented together, maybe it's coming.
He caulked a lot of that, I think,
Did he?
if not all of it.
Now, I don't know if I told you or not, we thought this may have happened years ago, Ted, and, over there at that, used to be Long Block Company, they sell us a barrel of that brick sealer for like $450. And you just put it in a sprayer or something, you know, and it seals that brick, or the joints and stuff. Of course, it gets me, why is it just do it on top? I mean, why isn't all the bricks leaking? We just have problems with it on the top.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a avenue we can, take and be reasonable, and that we can see, you know, if that's the problem, but, he says the roof is good.
Seems like the
And we had that ice, you know,
Snow and ice up there.
it may have, instead of draining, you know, it may have just set up there, but, I mean, that would, you know, that roof goes on up, on that inside.
Yeah.
So, I really can't see the inside of it, very much. had that, I don't know what, 2 or 3 inches of rain or more, I guess. But that should have run on out, run on off.
It's always been bad in that back corner where the judge's bathroom is, but all
Yeah.
of a sudden now it's starting in Patrick's office.
Yeah.
Getting worse.
We need to address it, but we're gonna have to address it before we can fix that courtroom. But, you know, there we go again, gonna have to have a lift or something to get on the outside if we do
Yeah.
that. But that would be a good time to wash that white stone up there if we're gonna do it, you know. There's gaps under the, I guess there's a, I don't know if there's concrete plate, I mean, a steel plate over the windows. And I've seen big gaps under there where that might blow into there. It just doesn't make sense to me. Isn't there a distance between the outside bricks, which they're bound to be a brick and a half thick. The houses I tear down, I mean, the brick on the outside, well, I guess the bigger houses, you know, you've got one long one and 2 short ones or something. That house I just tore down on that second in Metropolis, it was a brick and a half thick all the way on the outside. Now, the inside was just one. But, isn't there a space between the bricks and then the inside wall?
Yeah.
How does that water get over there? To that plaster?
Just find some cracks over the years.
You'd think once it got in there, it'd fall down.
They
but I
go
guess
on down to the bottom.
There's gotta be
But we
brick
don't-
ties going the wall.
We don't leak anywhere on the bottom, it's just up on top. I can't figure it out. I mean, in that courtroom, it's leaking even out in the middle of the thing now. It's either running over there or, I don't know. Now, where it's leaking out in the middle, I think is that wall on top. You go in the courtroom, then you got that high ceiling there, just when you get to the end of the benches there. Seems like most of the water is leaking across there.
We ever knew one day it was gonna rain real hard, just have somebody go up there.
That's about all we can do, go up on the crawl space and look at it. And I think even those big green, things across the courtroom, I think they're wooden, you know, I think they're even blistered now, or it looks like water, something's damaged them. If I could see it correctly. We'll just have to, one of these monsoons we have in the summer, you know, 2 or 3 inches we get every